Hello, everybody. Welcome, hello, and welcome. This is episode 21, I believe. I think I've got the number
21.
right on there. Episode 21 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. Podcast of two brothers who are former WWE employees that happen to love video games and wrestling. You know that we like the wrestling because of the WWE video games. We also like, well, not just the WWE experience. I'm getting my stuff wrapped up. You know that we like the WWE stuff because we used to work there with the wrestling and stuff, but you didn't know maybe that we like video games as well. Maybe me because I did up, down, down stuff. But anyway, that's besides the point. We are big nerds, and that is why we also like video games. We talk about video games as well as the wrestling.
Yep.
For a Friday evening, for the week I've had, I should not be this energetic. Maybe it's because I took a 5-hour energy when I started driving, but it was only like a quarter or a third of a 5 hour, so it's maybe like an hour and a half energy or a 2-hour energy. So like I don't know, and I drove home like almost 4 hours ago, so I don't know what this is right now, but I am amped. Maybe it's because the camera's on. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm kind of exhausted from the week I had, but whatever.
Anyway, I am one of your hosts, Murpho, and this is
DMurph.
And we are here to break down the big stories in the week of wrestling in the WWE. Sometimes when really big stuff goes in outside of WWE, which actually reminds me about something that I gotta bring up. I have no information about it. I just saw a headline. I don't know if you know it. We'll talk about it after WWE. If anything big happens outside of the world of WWE, we'll normally talk about that, which we probably should touch on the WCPW World Cup results, which I don't think we're well versed on that. So maybe we'll do that next week. And then we break into video game stuff. We talk about the video game news happening in the week, or if any new games come out that we are playing, we will talk about that. Which, speaking of which, we will be talking plenty of Destiny 2, or at least I will. I'll be talking about my impressions on Destiny 2.
And I'll be talking about my desire to play Destiny 2.
Yes. By the way, you like this Loot Crate shirt I'm rocking right now?
Yeah, it's very nice. I noticed it earlier.
Yeah, the awesome Loot Crate shirt here. Like, it's Link, but if you look at it, it's all in pixelated graphics from the original Legend of Zelda. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's start things off, as we always do, with the semi-week in review. We used to do it match by match, show by show in WWE, but now we're just going to touch on the bigger stories, the bigger things that happened in the week in WWE, and discuss those before moving on to the video game news. So,
talking about what we want to talk about.
Yes. I will let you drive the conversation, because I only really know and watched, like, basically what happened on Raw. I really didn't keep up with Smackdown Live or NXT this week like I normally do, because there was a lot of work, and then Destiny 2 also came out, so kind of been a little distracted. So I'll let you drive the wrestling conversation. I've seen some things that didn't happen on Raw. I've seen the stuff that's happened on Raw, so I'll be able to like chime in here and there.
Well, the first thing that we'll talk about, just because I think it's interesting, is happens to be one of the first things that happened on Raw, which is the realest guy in the room and what he's doing with the cruiserweights. And yeah, how he's apparently been winning his matches in the not nicest of ways, with feet on ropes and thumbs to the eye, and some people are in the locker room are getting upset with him, and it's making me like him more because that's Enzo.
Slow Enzo heel turn, kind of.
I don't even know if it's so much of Enzo slow heel turn, so much as, hey, he's Enzo. He's a guy who does whatever he can to get it done in the ring, and he's good on the mic.
Before that, Enzo was more of the like scrappy face. Yeah. He wasn't so much a do whatever it takes kind of thing. Yeah. But maybe I think this is like a character turn for
maybe a slow,
like not just a heel turn, but like an actual like evolution of Enzo Amore's character here, where
he's doing.
I think he's starting to do like play dirty and do whatever it takes to win because of what he went through with Big Cass.
Yeah,
because like not only was it just like he's pissed. It's not like he's pissed because Cass turned on him. I think he got his ass handed to him so hard by Colin Cassidy, by Big Cass, week in, week out for like 2 or 3 months straight, that he's sick and tired of taking those kinds of beatings, and he doesn't want to take those kinds of beatings from anybody else anymore. So he's going to do whatever it takes to get ahead in the Cruiserweight division and ensure victories and move up in the card from a kayfabe standpoint.
And it's worked out, because as of right now, at No Mercy, it looks like it's Neville defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Enzo Amore. But I like Enzo. don't know if he's on the Neville level
I don't
yet,
think he's on the Neville level. I don't think there's anybody right now on 203. Oop, knocked over
203? You mean 205?
205 Live. I don't think there's anybody on 205 Live who is quite on the Neville level just yet.
The only person I could think of that I would consider on the Neville level, really, at least in terms of wrestling right now, would probably be Cedric Alexander. He's really good in the ring. Not as good on the mic as some others, but he's still really good in the ring.
Yeah.
But Neville is good in the ring, on the mic, wherever. On a boat, he's good.
He's on a boat?
He might be.
He's on a boat.
I mean, he may have taken one to get to America. You never know.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, we got our first chat conversations. Cam says Enzo can't even do his new finisher without messing up, so he has to cheat. That's a little mean. That's a little mean.
Well, I mean, he did kind of thumb to the eye in order to hit his finisher, in which, to tag it, tie in with what Big Stupid said,
what their shirt
with
says.
Enzo, it's all fun and games until someone needs an eye patch.
So they tie it together. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I saw it with my eyes. I watched very closely. Eyes of a hawk. Eyes of a hawk. So also Big Stupid said, who called Enzo to 205 Live? This guy, and pretty much everybody else. I think so.
I don't know. I didn't really think he was going to go to 205 Live. I thought they were going to have him do more of a managerial thing. But
I don't know. I didn't think of it until Big Stupid brought it up on a podcast. But once he said it, it clicked, and I'm like, that makes perfect sense. That's probably exactly where this is going.
Yeah, it should be an interesting match.
Yeah,
not great, but interesting.
Who knows? Maybe what this is gonna be is maybe because Neville is so over as a heel and his whole Neville level and chip on his shoulder type character, that's somebody who could turn into a face eventually. Maybe they're trying to use an Enzo, trying to do a double turn here, turn Enzo heel with the dirty tactics, so maybe he wins the title from Neville, and then Neville turns face because he got cheated on, and he got cheated he lost via cheating, and then just that angry Neville that we've seen from his heel run now is used against a guy who's a dick, so it turns him into a face. Yeah. So maybe we're about to see a double turn between Enzo and Neville.
Yeah. Another thing I will bring up quickly that I actually did not mention to you, but something I wanted to talk about quickly, which is something that we had a little bit of an issue with WWE recently, which is how, things happen Neville lost the Cruiserweight Championship and then won it back again.
The hot swapping of titles sometimes.
Yeah, apparently, that is responsible of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He specifically had
Papa Vince.
Those titles. He had the tag titles on both brands, and he had the Cruiserweight Championship and the Women's Championship on Raw. Flipped so frequently because he wanted people to talk about those titles. And the thing is, I believe that he was thinking about too much of, can I do this, and not so much about, should I do this? Because, yes, people are talking about the titles, but not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah, I think what he was trying to do, probably, is being like, oh, man, did you see this match? They traded it so much. They're so evenly matched. Who's going to win? But instead, that maybe would have worked 20 years ago.
Yeah.
In, the Attitude Era, when kayfabe was still kind of there, and there weren't a ton of, smart marks on the internet. And I'm not bashing smart marks. I'm just speaking in general.
Stating facts.
Yeah. Nowadays, in today's wrestling, it's change the title every once in a while, but not, back and forth 4 or 5 times in the span of 5 months between just only 2 people.
Because, that also shows, that person has what it takes to become a champion. But they're not really championship material because a champion isn't just someone who wins a title. It's someone who can hold a title.
Yeah.
But that was one quick thing I want to bring up. Another thing that we'll talk about, which is probably one of the biggest things in WWE right now, biggest feud right now starting up is...
Wait, I'm thinking about it. I think I got it. Hold on. Give it a second.
You see, the issue is I don't think...
Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander.
No, that I don't think is going on anymore.
Damn. I really like that one. I want it to come back. Can we get Alicia Fox back? Alicia Fox.
Well, here's what you do. What you need to do is you need to kind of wipe the fog away from your face. Maybe in a motion like this, because I don't think you could quite see what's going on. because it's Roman Reigns and John Cena.
Roman and John Cena. I still need to watch that promo from not this week but last week, because I heard it was straight fire.
Oh yeah.
But I hear that that this rivalry is just on another level. There's everybody's level, there's the Neville level, and then there's now the Roman and Cena level.
Well, you see, here's my take on it. When I first heard that they were doing this, I was like, yes, this is going to be a great match. And then they did the promo last week, and I was like, that was great. And then I started thinking about it more. And then they did a promo this week, and I started thinking about it more. And I realized that there was something bothering me with this feud. And you know what that is?
What?
Cena is spitting fire when he's on the mic, saying all this stuff to Roman Reigns. But the thing that bothers me is all these things he's saying to Roman Reigns are all the things that basically everyone has been saying about him for like the last 10 years. And he's saying it as if it hasn't been said about him for the last 10 years. And that's what I think is bothering me about it. But Roman
kind of makes Cena sound like a hypocrite.
Yeah, Roman did have a really good thing this week where he came out saying that, you talk about how good you are and, you face this rookie, Jason Jordan tonight. And, if you're really as good as you say you are, you could have put him down right then and there. But the match went on for a long time. So is it that you were just playing around with him and got his hopes up and then crushed him? Or was it really that you couldn't take that long? Because you know what? Either way, you're exactly what I said last night, which is a lying, fake-ass bitch.
Fool.
And he had said that about him last week. Cena came back at him, talking all this fire at him. And Roman just looks at him and goes, you see, John, this is why I'm not afraid of you. Because you just talk and talk. You want to fight me? Omaha, you want to see John Cena kick my ass? Everyone cheered for him. He goes, okay, come on. And he just stood there. And Cena just kind of stood there, laughed a little bit, and leaned against the ropes. And Roman was like, see? That's exactly what I'm talking about. You come out here, you talk a big game, but then you don't put it up. And that's why I don't respect you either.
Which is kind of hilarious because, wasn't it just a couple months ago where John Cena was in that rivalry with Rusev and he was the one saying, we can fight right here, right now, and Rusev was like, no.
Yeah.
It's kind of Roman, I know you're on Raw, but you maybe should pay attention to SmackDown.
No, but I mean, it's just a matter of, he was like, Cena,
I understand you're a champion nobody wants to watch, but
yeah,
maybe you should watch some SmackDown.
I just liked it because Roman was like, you keep talking all this stuff about me. I'm standing right here. If you want to fight me, go ahead. You can have the first shot. Go for it. And Cena didn't do anything. He's like, exactly what I thought. You talk a big game towards me, saying that you don't think I'm good, saying you don't respect me, and you just sit there talking trash about me and then don't do anything about it. You say you don't respect me, well, you know what? I don't respect you either. And this match is all about them trying to gain each other's respect. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in ways I like it, in ways I don't, but I think it's going to be one hell of a match because whether you like them or not, guys, these guys can do it in the ring.
It's funny. For years and years, WWE has been thinking, how do we get people to like John Cena? We got it. Create another John Cena.
We gotta make him, let it bake for a little while, let it sit, cool down, build it up a little bit, and then just randomly throw it together. That's how we do it.
Mm-hmm. But no, that's all just a joke. Cam says that Roman needed a new watch because the match was apparently 8 to 10 minutes, not 20. Was it really that short? Maybe there was there
I didn't see the whole match. I just saw the highlights. But even if that's
was
the
there
case,
a commercial break in there? Because you got to realize when what you see may only be 10 minutes, but you also got to factor in maybe the 3 to 5 minute commercial break that happens because they're wrestling and the match is still going on during then.
But I mean, you also have to point out, even if it's 8 to 10 minutes, I want to point out, how long do you think it would take Cena, and how long did it take Jason Jordan to beat Curt Hawkins? What, less than 5 minutes? Maybe 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Matches don't always go that long. I mean, he may have said 20 minutes. It may not have been 20 minutes. It still took him a while to beat Jason Jordan, and Jason Jordan took it to him. One of the things I really liked in that match, which I mentioned to you, was the Northern Lights suplex into the bridge, which then he flipped over, picked him back up, and gave him another Northern Lights suplex, all in one continuous thing, kind of like a Three Amigos type thing, into another pin.
Oh yeah, Jason Jordan's wrestling acumen really and wrestling ability is no joke. He just needs a better character.
Oh yeah. But
he needs better direction storyline-wise and character-wise.
But I mean, I don't like the things that Cena's saying, but yeah. The match is going to be very, very good.
Yeah.
And you're right, Big Stupid, it does seem very manufactured about that they don't like each other.
Well, really, like, there's very few people backstage who don't actually really like each other, so technically every storyline is manufactured.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they're not the point. What Big Stupid is trying to say is they're just not doing a good job of making people believe that it isn't manufactured or suspending people's disbelief.
Yeah. But I mean, the only thing that I can really remember, like rivalry, that I can remember off the top of my head that, like, in recent times where people legitimately didn't like each other, at least when they first started, was John Cena and The Rock. Like, I've seen backstage interviews where they're like, yeah, I know it's all a work and everything, but he said this shit about me, so I did not like him. Mm-hmm. And we worked, and we did it, and after a while, we became okay with each other, and we respected each other, but at first, I hated that guy.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Cena was a full-timer, and, you know, I could see where he was coming from. At the same time, Rock was kind of like, look, I did all the work too, and then I went on to pave this new road, this new path, so that way other wrestlers could do what I'm going to hopefully do, and I still love the place. I want to come back and pay my respects, and you're doing this to me. Like, I saw where both sides were coming from.
But I mean, that's also the kind of angle they were going at with this promo last week, where, you know, Roman Reigns pointed out, like, you're a part-timer. You come back when you feel like it.
You have become what you hate.
Yeah. But he specifically said, like, you come back when you want, and only if they pay you enough for it. He said that flat out to John Cena's face. What are you doing?
I'm just posing. I don't know. Yeah, you got a point.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Big Stupid, that was real, and that is what he's going for. But, I mean, I don't know, it just kind of bothers because it does, like, listening to the whole promos, it's just like, John Cena is the biggest hypocrite on the mic. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. And, like, he also said this week, like, you know, you call yourself the man, you say this is your ring, you haven't earned it, blah, 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 and I would be like, whoa, 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 whoa. You want to talk about earning nicknames like the man? It would only be until recently you could argue that you have actually earned the title of the champ, because it's only been recently that you actually tied the most title reigns, and you don't even have one of...
Technically, he was just using the champ as a saying when he first won the championship, because at the time he was the champ, and it just stuck and became a thing because he won so much, LOL.
I know, but it's still a thing of, you were saying that when you weren't champion, so shut up.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, it's going to be a good match, it's an interesting feud, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Mm-hmm. So what else is happening in the wrestling world this week?
Let's see, we could talk about, briefly, just Raw Tag Team title stuff going on.
What's going on with the Raw Tag Team titles?
Still doing Sheamus and Cesaro against, what's it called?
Shield 2.0.
Yeah, Shield. And they had one match where it was, I think, Sheamus and Cesaro versus Slater and Rhino, and Rollins and Ambrose were on the mics, and Sheamus and Cesaro won. And then later on in the night, they had Ambrose and Rollins versus Gallows and Anderson. Cesaro and Sheamus came out to try and interfere in the match and cause them to lose. They ended up using that to win, the distraction of the referee and everything, to win the match. And then after the match, there was a actual, Ambrose and Rollins are standing on the ramp. What's their names? Cesaro and Sheamus are standing by the ropes just staring at them. And then Gallows and Anderson get in the ring, look at each other, and just attack Cesaro and Sheamus from behind because they cost them the match. And then they got back in the ring, had a little bit of a stare down, had a little bit of a brawl that Cesaro and Sheamus came out on top of. But I was like, you go, Anderson and Gallows, get more TV time.
Magic killers.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it's doing its thing. I wish it was more interesting. It's definitely more interesting than what Finn Balor's doing right now, though.
All right.
Have you heard about that?
I have not heard about that.
Guess who he's facing at No Mercy?
Bray Wyatt?
Yep.
Not surprised.
And you know how they're trying to angle this?
How?
Bray Wyatt wants to face the man.
Not the demon?
I guess, yeah. So it looks like they're trying to do just actual Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, yeah. So it was like, okay, that kind of did what it needed to do for SummerSlam. We can end this now. No.
We already saw that match, though. They did that before. That's why... No, whatever.
Yep.
All right, so what else happened? I heard that Strowman got a little cagey with somebody this week.
He had a pretty, surprisingly good match for Big Show in a steel cage match with them. Like, one of the ways it started off was Strowman getting Big Show in between the ropes and the cage and just, going against the ropes and just slamming himself into Big Show. Did it, 3 or 4 times. And then when he went to go back, Big Show just knocked him right out. And, it was good. It showed that they both have good strength. And, freaking Big Show did an elbow drop off the top rope, and we haven't seen him do that in, over 10 years. Mm-hmm. And it was crazy. And the match ended with Strowman hitting Big Show with a running power slam, pinning him, talking crap about Brock Lesnar, and then slamming him through the cage and the cage wall falling off the cage.
But the biggest question that has to be answered after this match, after what happened, is Strowman finished with Big Show yet?
I think so, because Big Show's going out for surgery.
He is, really? And legit in real life? What happened to him?
Nothing big. He's getting a small minor surgery, but something with his hip. And and a lot of people are saying that they did that whole angle as a way to write him off of TV for a little while so he could get that done and then come back.
Okay. It's a good way to establish Strowman as a new big man. And, I'm guessing that, Show can thank his ridiculous workout regimen and, the fact that he's in a new shape to be able to jump off the top rope again.
Yeah. And that's another thing, thank
really
you,
cool.
Cam, that I forgot about. That was also really good this week. They also had Jeff Hardy versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship.
Ooh.
And that match was surprisingly good. Well, the match...
Well, it's Jeff Hardy and...
Miz
isn't a blow your mind type of worker, but Miz is good at what he does, and Jeff Hardy is Jeff Hardy.
That's one thing I actually forgot to mention. John Cena actually gave more or less a shout-out to The Miz during his promo, because he was talking about all these people coming into the company and working to get where they are. He was like, take The Miz. I hate The Miz. I don't like that guy at all. But he came in here and he worked his ass off to get to where he is now. And he's arguably the best he's ever been. And that is all because of his hard work and dedication. And I respect him for that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, good for you. Miz is doing good.
Yeah, Miz go hard.
Yeah. But the match basically ended where Jeff Hardy was going to hit the Swanton, and Miz was just laid out. And at this point, just so you know, Miz Taraj and Matt Hardy had been thrown out from ringside. Maurice just quickly grabbed his hand and shook it to wake him up. And Miz just as he came, was huh? And then saw him coming down and just rolled out of the way. Got up, Jeff went to do the twist of fate, and when he spun around to the back, Miz caught him and gave him a skull-crushing finale for the pin.
Nice.
So it was really cool, and I think I remember hearing something about, it was about 10 years ago or something like that, almost to the day that Jeff Hardy had won his first Intercontinental Championship in WWE. Yeah.
He's won a lot of those, hasn't he? Isn't he number 2 all time behind Jericho right now, or is Miz number 2 all time?
Miz is number 2 behind Jericho. He has I think it's 4 title reigns or something like that, and Miz has 6 right now. I think Ziggler has 5, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. Cena's a hypocrite. Hashtag Cena's a hypocrite because he buried Miz just to
He
propose.
didn't bury Miz.
Yeah, I know, but that's one
thing.
That's
harsh.
That was what they pointed out.
Miz did the job for Cena at WrestleMania and not really a great wrestling match, but an entertaining match and a nice WrestleMania moment.
It's
plus
in reference to the promo that Cena did last week, though.
Yes, but I just feel like sometimes the word buried gets thrown around a little too easily in the wrestling world, and you really need to understand what the difference between burying somebody and somebody doing a job for somebody. And Miz played his role and did the job for Cena, and when you look at it from the rivalry as a whole, Miz still had the Intercontinental Championship. He could take the loss. He didn't?
He had lost it to Ambrose before that.
Well, anyway, Miz was still having a great year. And look at the promos that he and Maurice cut leading up to that program and how gold those were and how those propelled him.
Yeah.
And he came out of that looking okay. He came out looking okay, and he ended up winning the Intercontinental Championship back, and now he's got the Miz Taraj and everything, and he kept his rivalry going with Ambrose. It didn't hurt him. He got put in a good...
It hurt him for a very short period of time, just because he had nothing going on.
Maybe for a couple weeks, but
exactly, not long at all.
But he had another WrestleMania match with John Cena. Yeah, it wasn't that great. And he was part of that WrestleMania moment that led to Cena proposing to Nikki. So that's that's more doing the job than burying. So like, and like Cam says, there's a difference between a lost and a burial, and Miz lost wasn't buried exactly. And like Big Stupid is said in response, like, yeah, I would say maybe the whole Rusev Orton angle is a lot better example of burying somebody than somebody losing or doing the job. Like Rusev and Cena, Rusev did the job for Cena because Rusev came out looking like he might actually win, and it was a competitive match and entertaining.
An awkward match.
Since he started battle, but then like his rivalry with Orton, he just got demolished. Yeah. Unless unless they do something after like Orton lost his number one contendership match to Shinsuke, to where Rusev comes back out, and then maybe he gets his like comeuppance and everything, or gets his revenge. Then maybe it won't be so much burying. But at this point, it looks like they're just using Orton to bury Rusev. And no, Big Stupid, I am not a closet Cena fan. I am a fan of Cena. I'm out about it. I'm not in the closet about it. I like Cena. I don't know if I'd call myself like a really big fan, but I'm a fan of what he does. I like what he does. I respect what he does. I respect what he's done for the industry. If you had asked me this 10 years ago, back in 2007, was I a Cena fan? No. But probably around...
I was one of the people protesting leaving Madison Square Garden the night he won the Royal Rumble.
That was 2008. 2008, that was when I kind of started to come around on him a little bit. More so but that was the more I appreciated the angle of what they were doing there. But, like, I'd say maybe, like, 2010, 2011 was probably around when I started to, like, change my opinion on Cena.
Yeah. Took me a while to come around, but, I mean, it's been around for a while. Like it or not, he actually puts on good matches. I hate to admit it, but he does. Yeah.
I like what Laserscope said
Rusev squash guy.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what Orton should say to Rusev about that abomination of a match at SummerSlam.
But something else I want to talk about, something I'm getting kind of excited about.
What is that?
The women's match that happened on Raw and what it leads to. There was a tag team match of Sasha Banks and Little Miss Bliss versus Nia Jax and Emma, in which if Nia Jax and Emma won, it would be a fatal four-way for the title at No Mercy, and Nia Jax and Emma won.
Hey, Emma's back in the championship picture. Yep. Took long enough.
Although Nia did give her quite the burn on Twitter.
Yeah?
Yeah, because Emma was like, this is where I deserve to be. I'm the one who's supposed to be in the spotlight. Give me my title, blah, blah, blah. Like, hashtag Emma, new women's champion or whatever. And Nia just responded with, well, I mean, you had 6 months worth of vignettes boosting you up from Vince, and you let that go nowhere. So, I mean, whatever.
That's not Emma's fault, though. That's Creative's fault.
Yeah, I mean, Emma, Cameron, you're probably right. He's probably
maybe she is there to take the pin, but at least she's there. Like, Emma busts her ass. Emma, like, deserves to have a good, solid role in the women's division. She's a really good wrestler. Like, a lot of people forget the good matches she used to have on NXT with Paige and everything.
Oh, yeah. She is good.
Like,
she deserves to be in that picture.
I'm just glad she's getting screen time. She's getting match time on a pay-per-view, because, like, they really need to use her better. So even if she takes the pin, at least she's going to be there, and hopefully they can build on that to make her, like, a regular, like, face. Like, a regular, like, not faces and, like, face heel, but like someone physically there you seeing on the show regularly.
Yeah. I'm really, really hoping for Nia Jax in this match, though. I think it's time to put the title on her, especially if you're going to start moving towards like, if you want to do Sasha and Bayley and stuff like that. This is a good way to take it away, because they've been doing a little bit of stuff between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Like Nia Jax turned on her the other week and everything. So I think I really, really want to see that.
Yeah, get that out of the way, and you let what's her name take the pin.
Yeah, let Emma.
And apparently Sasha said some things on the radio before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this.
I'll tell you about this quickly, because you may have seen my tweet about this, and also my post on Facebook about this. Basically, she had done a podcast or a radio show or whatever, in which she was talking about fans and saying that she does not like fans coming up to her at airports. And part of the reason
I can't blame them for that. Like, to be fair,
especially since part of the reason she gave was things like she's had fans call the airport to find out what time her flight is and everything, so they could go in with a checked bag full of merchandise to ask her and other wrestlers to sign.
Exactly, and that's messed up. And like, I have worked what's known as loops when I was with WWE, and I wasn't getting my ass and my back slammed on a hard mat like 4 or 5 times in that span, like, and I wasn't even there for the house shows. I would come in for TV, like, and like just you guys like people. A lot of people don't understand just how grueling, like road life is. Like you fly into one city, you work that show. Then you immediately get in a car, drive 3 or 4 hours at least anywhere from 3 to 5 hours to the next city at like midnight.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're doing it in the middle of the afternoon. You're doing it at midnight. You get into the next city like anywhere between 4 and 6 in the morning. Then you have to wake up after like anywhere at max 4 or 5 hours sleep.
Yeah.
And then for them, they got to wake up, work out, go to the arena, work that show all day, get in a car, and do it all over again like 3 or 4 times, and then they have to get on a plane and fly all the way back home after that. Like, I don't blame them if they don't want to get ambushed by fans who sneak their way into airports on the end of a long trip.
Yeah, in which one of the things she says I agree with, which is her saying, like, you know, if I say on Twitter, like if I tweet out, oh, I'm going to this place, and you go and you see her there, she doesn't mind that because she has let fans own everything where she's going to be. But when people go to seek her out when she hasn't given out information, that's what bothers her. But Bubba Ray Dudley, put out a tweet saying that you shouldn't be worried about fans coming up to you at 5 a.m. at an airport.
Which is hilarious.
You should be worried about when they're not doing that. In which I responded with, well, there was that one time after a BTW show in Danbury, Connecticut, when you refused to give me and my friend signatures. You had slammed someone through a table that night, sir. I asked you to sign a piece of the table that they had graciously given me, and your response to me was, it's just a table, kid, go home. So, I mean, what? Mm-hmm. What is your problem?
I mean, he isn't grateful that you came up to him. He just didn't want to deal with you at the time, but it does make him sound hypocritical.
Yes.
I was there.
I was there asking for an autograph, and you refused to do it.
We were leaving the show. We hung out with our friends after the show for a little bit. We went to get out. We were in the car. We were driving out of the parking garage, and we saw Bubba Ray, walking up, and you were like, oh, he's right here. I'm going to just take a chance and ask him to sign this really quick. And you went out. I saw you. I was in the car. I saw you walk up to him. I saw him turn you down, and you came back, and we left.
Yeah. But it's just a matter of, if you're going to say, don't worry about that, then don't be a dick to your fans. I mean, I was the only one who came up to you after that show. There was no one else around. I asked you for one quick signature, and you turned me down. I can understand it, but also saying, go home, kid. That's where it kind of got a little salty for me. Like, you didn't have to say that, but...
Anyway, Big Stupid said that apparently what he was talking about was, it was about WWE Creative and not knowing what's going on from week to week, and she doesn't consider herself being a women's champion the weekend she was winning the belt. I mean...
Do you blame her, though?
Does she consider... Well, she wasn't the women's champion then, so
she was women's champion for 1 week.
Well, also, he's saying the weekend she was winning the belt because she wasn't the champion when she did the interview. Because she won it at SummerSlam. So, she technically, that's not really that bad. She doesn't consider herself a women's champion because she didn't have the belt.
Yeah.
At that point. I mean, I guess that makes sense. That's her being nice. And I mean, it's true. The stuff about WWE Creative. Because when I used to work at WWE, when I was on the second screen team in WWE.com, we were always, there was normally you normally didn't find out, you normally don't, well, I probably shouldn't be saying this stuff on the air, but,
things could change at any minute.
All I'm saying is that things can change at any given minute, and, Creative keeps things very tight to the vest, and they only tell people on a need-to-know basis, and, it isn't very well in advance.
Yeah.
So, she was just talking the truth. I don't want to go spilling insider secrets or anything, because I know that, that's a touchy subject with WWE. Well, as a former WWE employee, I'm technically not supposed to talk about that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So I will just speak in vagueness, and it's just, that's kind of the nature of the business.
Yeah. Things could change on a dime, and you have to adapt to it.
I mean, maybe she might have caught some flack for talking about it and being so matter of fact about it, but I mean, I don't think that's something that would put her in the doghouse.
It shouldn't. It
my
may,
opinion.
but I don't think it should.
Yeah.
But
Change their Twitter bio and everything. I don't know. But yeah. We know, but I don't think they like their people saying that publicly. Yeah.
Yeah, but
whatever. They normally don't. Anyway, we should probably get on to like rapid fire stuff maybe for the rest of the WWE stuff. So what else happened in the world of WWE this week?
Mae Young Classic.
Well, is there anything else on SmackDown that we wanted to talk about?
Kevin Owens said something to Shane McMahon about his kids. Shane McMahon attacked him, is suspended. Vince McMahon is coming to SmackDown next week, and Shinsuke Nakamura is the new number one contender for the WWE Championship.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal that Vince is going to be on SmackDown because I think it's the first time he'll have been publicly on a SmackDown show in a long time. On the camera in a long time, since, and the first time since the brand extension or split.
Yeah, exactly. So, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown was SmackDown. I didn't watch it because we've still got Jinder who hasn't been hindered, unfortunately.
That guy needs to get hindered. Like I tried to give Jinder a little bit of a chance, but it's like I don't like the championship reign. Like he doesn't entertain me.
I don't like
as a
the
bad
reign.
guy. He does not entertain me.
And like I said, I know you don't like it. Doesn't bother you that much, but it still really sticks to me that he's the WWE champion and he couldn't hit his finisher properly. Like the whole psychology of it is that is your move that you have perfected and hit better than anyone else, and then you couldn't even do it properly. Like that's just something that bothers me. You're supposed to be the champion, and you can't do of all the moves you have to do properly in a match. You couldn't do that one move. You can't do the one job you were given.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Mae Young Classic.
Yes, tell me about the Mae Young Classic.
So good. There are some points. Like, I'm going to say the only match I didn't really enjoy was Lacey Evans versus, I hate to say this, but I forget the woman's name that she faced from Brazil. I honestly fell asleep during that match because it was not that entertaining. But I mean, you've got a lot of really good people in this. I mean, you've got Shayna Baszler from UFC. You've got Kairi Sane from Japan. You've got Dakota Kai from, I believe, London. You've got Toni Storm from Australia. You've got Piper Niven from Scotland. You've got Abby Lath, who trained with the same people who trained with Mae Young and uses her same finisher in these matches. You've got Tessa Blanchard, son of Hall of Famer Tully. You've got Rachel Evers, who's the daughter of Paul Ellering. You've got all these really good talents. Mia, I forget her last name. I mean, there's just so many good people in this tournament doing a really good job. Bianca Belair, I wasn't really a big fan of. I thought she kind of phoned it in the first round, but the second round, she had an insane match. This thing is just jumping off the charts, and I've only watched the first 5 episodes, but I am so hooked, and I'm really hoping that I could somehow try and catch up on the rest of it by Tuesday when they have the live finals of the tournament in Las Vegas after SmackDown Live.
Mm-hmm.
But it's looking really good if you haven't watched it. Yeah, Katie Lee Ray is another person that was on there. They are all so good. The final match of the first round of Kairi Sane and Tessa Blanchard, my God, that was such a good match.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you before, same feeling as Ciampa and Gargano at the end of Cruiserweight Classic first round. It was so good, so on point, so many close calls. Really good. If you haven't gotten to watch it, I highly recommend that you go through and watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out when I get the time. If I get the time, I'm a busy man at the moment.
Yeah. So, like I said, I've watched the first 5 episodes. Each one has, I think, 4 matches in it.
Each episode is an hour long, like with the
less than that.
Less than that.
Yeah,
but it's like the same length as the Cruiserweight Classic episodes were.
About. I think the longest one was like 50 minutes, 50 something. That I had seen at least. I don't know. But, I mean, really, really good stuff.
And then the finals are next week, right?
The finals are this upcoming Tuesday. And I am excited.
Now, tell me about a certain person who is in that final match and what might be going on, we might very well be seeing the planting of a seeds for a big WrestleMania match.
Yeah, they have Shayna Baszler, who is now in the finals of the tournament. Sorry if that spoils it. But she is a member of the Four Horsewomen from UFC.
Yeah, the UFC, the MMA Four Horsewomen, which includes Ronda Rousey.
Yes, which includes Ronda Rousey and Roddy Piper. Wow.
Roddy Strong,
his wife. They were except for Shayna, the other three members of the Horsewomen were doing an interview outside when Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and Bayley,
three of the Four Horsewomen of wrestling,
up to them
of WWE,
and the only words that were said were by Ronda Rousey just saying, "Name the time, name the place." And as they went to walk away, just went, "Not now? Okay." And just went back to go doing the interview. And Shayna Baszler also did an interview where it was brought up like, oh, there was a confrontation. And she just said, hey, they could throw up the symbol if they want. They could say whatever they want. We're here. We'll face anyone in WWE anytime. And I am just getting excited because that will be one hell of a match if that happens at WrestleMania.
I think what's going to happen is that she's going to defeat Kairi Sane and win the tournament. She's going to very quickly become the NXT Women's Champion. She's probably going to lose it at the TakeOver in December, right around Royal Rumble time. She'll probably it might be because of one of the Four Horsewomen. She will come out and maybe call out the Four Horsewomen either because she feels like they cheated her out, or because of just heated discussions or stuff like that, or she just comes up and then they come out and say, you think you're one of the Four Horsewomen, we're the real Four Horsewomen. Mm-hmm. And then sure enough, around comes Ronda Rousey, Roddy Strong's wife, and whoever the fourth one is. I don't know those four Horsewomen very well. And then we get the Four Horsewomen of Wrestling coming together, and we get Four Horsewomen versus Four Horsewomen 8-woman tag team match at WrestleMania.
Hopefully, I don't know if they do it, but I would kind of like to see 8-woman elimination tag team match. I doubt they do that. Would be interesting,
but the thing is Ronda. I know Ronda Rousey is Ronda Rousey, and I think I've heard rumors that she might be training in wrestling.
I'm just gonna say that if I remember correctly, when they talked about her retiring from UFC and how Dana White said that he would never let her go and wrestle for WWE while she's under contract with them, that she basically said well, when I'm done with here, you'll probably see me in a WWE ring or something along those lines, because she's been a huge fan of WWE.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell when The Rock pulled her out and she, took down Triple H and Stephanie.
You should have known then by her also being known as Rowdy Ronda Rousey, which she got permission from Roddy Piper
and she won some of her matches that she won because
for him.
Piper died and she had a match that weekend or the weekend after, and she went absolute beast mode on her opponent, took her out really quick in the first round, and she said that she did it. And she was emotional about it. She said she did it because she was fighting for, dedicating that fight to Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
So, Big Stupid asks, who's the face and who's the heel in that rivalry? I really don't know.
I don't think it's really going to be a matter of
I think it would probably, I think the Four Horsewomen of Wrestling would probably be the heels. Because, whenever you bring outsiders in, Ronda Rousey, you normally try to make them the faces, and the good guys, it's easier to make them faces than heels. But I don't know. With the wrestling crowds the way they are now and how overall Four Horsewomen of WWE are, they might get booed. Or it might just be a face versus face. This is a really effing awesome kind of thing going on.
Exactly. I think it's going to be kind of like how when they brought in Brock Lesnar, and even kind of how he is today. Brock Lesnar isn't a face. Brock Lesnar isn't a heel. Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. He's a fighting machine, and I think that's how they're going to build them. But, man, that is going to be a good match.
And Big Stupid says, because they had Bayley, they're going to get booed. No, I don't think Bayley's that far gone right now.
No.
But, yeah, I think it's going to be a good match. And I think Rousey's been training. I mean, you got, I can't remember, what was Blazer, who's in the final of the Cruiserweight Classic. So she's trained.
Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, you've got Roddy Strong's wife, who I wouldn't be surprised if he's been training her before or after her NXT pregnancy. Too. Yeah,
because they're down in Florida. He lives in Florida with her.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they all know something.
Yeah, exactly.
And like say like Roddy's wife is actually pretty well trained, or Ronda's been picking it up pretty well, and what's her name? Baszler.
Baszler.
I gotta learn that. I feel bad. I'm sorry. And Baszler's getting trained and she's doing this well in the Cruiserweight Classic, like they can carry the match. So
yeah, I mean, regardless, they've got at least 2 people who are going to be in that who I'm pretty sure are trained. Because, like I said, I know Ronda Rousey's been looking to do this for a while, so I'd be shocked if she hasn't been training.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Shayna, who's in the Mae Young Classic and doing really good in it. I think it's going to be a good match regardless.
Yeah. So before we move on to other things, anything happen of interest in NXT? Do you know what happened in NXT this week?
Only thing that I really heard of is Cassius Ohno came out and did a thing with Hideo Itami. I've been trying to keep away from NXT because I've not gotten to watch it since TakeOver.
He did a thing. Did he do a flip?
I don't know.
Do a flip.
Do a flippy thing. Flippy thing. But there is something I just remembered that happened outside of the world of WWE that I want to address because I think it's interesting. Don't know if I necessarily like it, but I think it's really interesting. Which is what has happened with Cody Rhodes. Have you heard what he's done with ROH?
Didn't he get the actual like Ring of Honor? He changed the championship belt to an actual ring, and he calls it the Ring of Honor.
Yep, it is the Ring of Honor, and he makes people kiss the ring.
It's interesting. I feel like a belt is a much better symbol, but I like the ring itself as well. Because I think he should be coming out with the belt and the ring, and maybe the champion should have both the ring and the belt.
Yeah.
So you've got the physical Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Which maybe you don't have to carry, which you can maybe carry all the time, unlike the belt. But like when you come down the ring, have the belt and everything.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I like it. I mean, it kind of fits with like his whole thing of being a part of the Elite.
Yeah.
With Omega and the Young Bucks and everything. So.
Yeah. Apparently Asuka had her goodbye.
Yeah, that's one thing I forgot had happened is she had her goodbye. Triple H took the title from her on NXT, and like I said, they announced that when she does return, it'll be either to Monday Night Raw or Tuesday Night SmackDown.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens with that. I'm kind of excited for that, not gonna lie. Gives the women, I think it helps out with the women's division now in NXT, and Asuka's gonna kill it on the main roster. They could throw her on Raw, SmackDown, whatever. If they do this whole 4 Horsewomen versus 4 Horsewomen thing, what better way to fill in a vacant slot than throwing Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, who is undefeated, into the mix, going for a title?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. They do, like, Alexa Bliss comes out, and, oh, well, Sasha and Bayley are busy, and blah, blah, blah. Who's gonna challenge me? I've beaten everyone. And then Asuka comes out, and she's gonna be like, what was that?
Asuka versus Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Or maybe Nia Jax versus Asuka.
Maybe. I mean, they've done that before. I don't think that was the best match. They've done it before. It was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But
give Asuka to Paul Heyman. That would actually cover up the fact that she doesn't really speak English very well.
Yeah. But I mean, one of the issues with that is Paul doesn't really like to work with anyone that he doesn't know personally that well anymore. Because, I mean, they tried it with Curtis Axel.
It didn't work with Curtis Axel. Didn't work with Ryback.
It only really worked with
Punk
Brock Lesnar and Punk. In which a lot of people thought that it wasn't going to work with Punk because Punk doesn't need someone to talk for him, but it worked out beautifully because you've got 2 people who can talk in the ring now.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe that's pretty much it for wrestling. The one other thing I wanted to raise, and like I don't know if we'll actually be able to get into a discussion about it because I only know the headline. I don't know if you know more about this.
Okay.
But apparently, I heard that there is a rumor or a story out that Global Force Wrestling is going to try and create their own version of the WWE Network.
I have not heard about this.
Yeah, I heard about this earlier this week. I know that What Culture Wrestling did a video about it, but I don't know. I really don't know anything else beyond that, so I was just checking to see if you knew. We'll look into it and maybe possibly discuss it if it's worth something. If it's something worth discussing next week. But yeah, apparently Global Force Wrestling is rumored to be creating a video on demand service similar to that of like New Japan World and WWE Network.
Okay, well, good luck to you with that.
Yeah,
I don't know how well it's gonna work, but good luck.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we will close out our wrestling discussion for the night.
Yep.
For the week, and we'll move on to the world of video games and the big story In the world of video games. Well, actually, we'll transition. We won't go into the big thing in video games. We'll do a soft transition
from wrestling to wrestling video game
with WWE 2K18 because the full roster got revealed, and there's a lot of people that were
released. Like we thought last time that they had done the full roster. Apparently, they released even more even more names for the game now. So that already gigantic roster got bigger. I'll just do a quick rundown of these names released on IGN. JBL, Tatanka, Typhoon, also known as Shockmaster, Tatsumi Funami, Hall of Famer, RVD, which was already actually mentioned, part of the Seen Enough edition, Booker T, Batista, who was also announced in that, Trish Stratus, Psycho Sid, Jake the Snake Roberts, Christian, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Aiden English, Goldust, Big E, Kofi, Xavier Woods, Sting, Shawn Michaels, Titus O'Neil, Enzo Amore, The Brian Kendrick.
I'm going to take a nap because it's going to take a while.
Yeah. Shane McMahon, Alicia Fox, Stephanie McMahon, Ultimate Warrior, Charlotte Flair, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, Cassius Ono, Darren Young, Rich Swann, Gren Metalik, Noam Dar, Jack Gallagher, No Way Jose, Primo Cologne, Epico Cologne, Tyson Kidd, which I was very happy about.
Ooh.
Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Rhino, Curt Hawkins, Heath Slater, R-Truth, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango. And when I was going through that list, I was just saying that, wow, that is a lot of people that I thought were already included that were not even mentioned yet. Like Shawn Michaels and The New Day and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
But I'm also glad to see people like Cassius Ono and Jack Gallagher and people like that in this game.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't have the Hardys in it. I could have sworn I heard that they announced the DLC and that the Hardys are going to be part of the DLC.
I haven't heard anything about it, but it would not surprise me at all. I mean,
maybe I
had
saw
Gallows
something,
and Anderson in the DLC last time.
Maybe I saw something that was like top 5 must-have DLC characters. I'm sure the Hardys will be on DLC. They're popular enough, and they re-debuted at WrestleMania, so I think that gives 2K enough time to develop their characters for for the game for DLC. So yeah, that is that for 2K18. Now we're gonna move on to the big video game stuff. The biggest story or thing with video games this week, and that is that Destiny 2 has released. Oh, I am so happy. For those of you guys who know, who watch me on Twitch, outside of playing a lot of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I also tend to play a lot of Destiny.
I don't.
Yeah, I actually clocked it like 800 something hours into Destiny 1,
Jesus.
Which is honestly not as much as I thought I would have, because it's been 3 years since Destiny 1 came out. And, you know, when we used to play some MMOs, we'd put well over 1,000 hours into them in less time or as much time. So I expected to see that number like anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000. And it was way lower than I thought it was.
You've put many Earth days worth of hours into that game.
Yes, I have. So Destiny 2 has finally launched. I've gotten to play a little bit of it. If you guys are watching me on Twitch or Facebook, or even if you're listening to the audio form, if you want to get a look at me playing some Destiny 2 last night, which was Thursday, September 7th, I played for nearly 3 hours. Yes, I did. Yes, I did kill myself 30 seconds. When you joined, ladies and gentlemen, I died 30 seconds after you loaded in, but it was fine. I totally meant to walk off the edge of that cliff on purpose.
Yeah, you were just following your lemming brethren.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that night I played for about 3 hours, played with my best friend, went through the world of Titan on there. We did some lock sectors, we did public events, we did some story missions, we did adventures. So you got a little bit we found some golden chests, so we got a little bit of everything in there. So be sure to check that out. I am loving the game so far. I don't know how much of a mass appeal it will have, because it does still very much feel like Destiny. Like the shooting feels the same and everything. It's the same world, same lore. But they did
worlds too, though.
They did change up. Like, in addition to the new worlds, the visuals are still beautiful. They have an actual like story that felt more like the way Bungie used to make stories, like in the Halo heydays, like with Reach and Halo 2 and Halo 3, where they had those cinematics Reach and everything. I'm not gonna say that it was maybe on that level, but I got a feeling like this is almost like a Halo-like story, like Bungie's in their storytelling zone here.
So it's good, but not quite on the Neville level yet.
Would you really put the Neville Halo 2 on the Neville level?
No.
Or the Neville level on the Halo 2 level?
No, I'm saying that Destiny 2 isn't quite at the Neville level yet.
I think Destiny 2 is at the Neville level.
Okay. You were just saying it wasn't as good as some other games, but it's still pretty good, so I just wanted to check.
Yeah, but to be fair, if you're comparing the Neville level, if you're comparing video games, I wouldn't say the Neville level is really at Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Well, I wasn't a fan of Halo 2 as much, but that's... No. That's because you had people like, oh, look, I like Halo 2. I'm good at it. And just did shotgun and sword. And that's it.
Shotguns and swords are fun.
No.
You don't...
No.
Yes.
It is no skill. It is...
No, you liked... I liked swords, because don't you remember the days of when we used to play in the basement, and I used to give people hugs with the sword with my Mr. Cuddles elite character? All he wanted to do was just cuddle people with his sharp, pointy electric sword.
I personally am a fan of the days with Halo 1 where we would use sticky grenades to launch warthogs inside of the bases at Blood Gulch.
Or we would just play Warthog Destruction Derby and charge into each other with the warthogs, and launch each other in the air, and then if you fell out of the warthog, you were fair game to get run over, until people decided, screw this, I'm not going to get run over, and would take up the rocket launcher and blow the other person up.
There was also when we put it at the top of the hill up against the rock, and instead of killing each other, we had everyone gather together, and on the count of 3, there are 2 sticky grenades on the warthog, and see how high we could get it up in the air.
We would see if we could get it to flip in the air and land on the top of the base. I think we were successful once or twice.
Yeah, I think there was one time where it actually landed in the hole in the base, and
wasn't there also, I think, and we're getting on a tangent, but this will be the last thing we talk about X4. Wasn't there a time where, like, there was a group of us trying to do that, and then another one of us cross-map killed everyone with a tank shot? I could have sworn I remember that happening.
I do remember that there was one time where I was playing, I think it was New Year's Eve one night, and this was after I'd already been, like, well more than 24 hours without sleep. And it was just me and a friend of mine, Guy, playing the game. And I just got bored and took the tank to the top of that same hill and was literally just like, I saw a pixel move. Bang! And just sniping him with a tank. That was fun.
Yeah. But anyway, Destiny 2 is a lot of fun. I really like the way they've changed the open world up. Lost sectors are kind of like... They're not so much dungeony. It's more of a, you find the symbol, you go down into, like... You go underground in almost every single one, so it's like a dungeon. You go underground, and then you find this one big, almost like mini shoot arena area with a lot of enemies and a boss and a chest. And you kill the enemies, you kill the boss, you open up the chest, you get some loot, and you walk yourself back out. It's not going to be like a half an hour long thing. It's like a 5, maybe 10 minute long experience. Okay. But it's like a little mini dungeon where you go down, you find the one big room with all the enemies and a boss, you kill them all, and you get stuff, which is cool. The public events now have a normal way to complete it, which is just, like, say, for example, a spider tank drops in. Normally, you would just shoot its legs out until it opened up its core, blow it up, kill it. But now there are heroic public events, which are special ways to complete the public events where, let's say that spider tank dropped, there will be these cannons that are covered in these, like, arc bubbles with these little, like, devices causing the shield. What you're supposed to do is when the spider falls and collapses, he drops arc orbs, which you're supposed to take to the devices and put them in the devices. That disables the shields, and then you're supposed to use all the cannons. And when you disable all the shields and use all the cannons, a second spider tank drops down. You destroy them both, and then you get the heroic completion.
I've seen it in action, my friend.
I did it. That's what happened.
Well, the one I saw, it was just once you load all of the different devices with an arc orb, each individual one, that's when it activates a heroic and the second tank drops. Because I've seen
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, before the first one was even destroyed, and before.
I didn't mean like you destroy the first tank. I said like once you do that, it activates the heroic, and then the second tank drops. And then if you do the heroic version, you get better rewards.
Yeah.
From the chest that shows up at the public event. They have the golden chest, which grants you like a commendation piece, which you turn in for like reputation. That'll get you engrams, like legendary gear. And then glimmer. They have adventures now, which act almost like the way the like non-story missions worked in Destiny 1, except they're like patrol beacons, and you walk up and you accept them, and they're mini quests. You don't have to do any separate loading or anything. You just walk up to it and it just immediately triggers, and you just wander and follow the path, and it adds story. Like it doesn't have cutscenes, but there's dialogue from the characters involved, giving you the mission, like explaining everything to you, so it adds a little bit of lore to the game as well, which is really cool.
That's cool.
So it's a lot better use of the open world. I expected more of the lost sectors, but it was fun. Like, the loot doesn't feel like that bad. Plus now, the gear you pick up will be when it drops will be based on what your maximum light level is, based on everything you have. So like Destiny will calculate what's the best weapons you have on your person, in your inventory, in your vault, and like for every single aspect, combine it all together. That'll be the max light level, and stuff will drop based on that light level. So that way it's easier to level up, so you're not grinding. Like say you have like a 250 light level weapon, but it's not good for the strike you're doing. So you take this 200 light level weapon because it's got the better elemental thing and the better perk. That 250 light level weapon will still count towards your drops.
There you go. That's good.
So, lots of fun. Like I said, the story's much better. I like the exploration. I haven't really tried PvP. I tried it in the
beta.
The beta. But I haven't tried it yet, and then I haven't gotten to the point where I can do the strikes or the higher end game type stuff or the Nightfall yet. But all things considered, I think it is a big improvement on Destiny 1. I think if you've played Destiny 1 and you enjoyed it in any way, shape, or form, you will enjoy Destiny 2. And I think if you maybe were turned off a little bit by the lack of a story, or how like maybe bland or maybe like non-lived in or dead the world might have been in Destiny 1, I say give Destiny 2 a chance. It might swing you back over to their side. Laserscope says, so they made Guild Wars 2 with automated guns. Kind of, sort of. A little bit.
I could get into that.
One of the big things that one of the last things I want to touch on, one of the big things that's causing a bit of an uproar is they changed the way that shaders work.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whereas in Destiny 1, when you had a shader, you would get the shader, you would apply it, and it would work for all your armor pieces at once, and you could remove it and exchange it. Now, the shaders are consumables that you apply as mods, and you can only put them on one piece of armor, and once you replace it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Some people are pissed off. They think this is Bungie trying to do microtransaction the hell out of people, because the only way you can get shaders is from chests from public events or heroic public events, or I think maybe from lost sectors.
I've seen some gained from just chests that are hidden out on the map.
Okay, or you get them from the bright engrams in from the Eververse Trading Company, which is a microtransaction shop. And a lot of people feel like they're just doing this to draw people to Eververse to spend money to get the shaders they want, which I can see that. I feel like what Bungie should have done, because I see what Bungie was trying to do. What they wanted to do is they wanted people to say you like this specific shader, and it makes all your armor look good, but it makes your cape look like crap. You're a hunter. Now you can be like, okay, well this shader that I have looks cool on the cape and works with the rest of the armor, so I can put the shader on that. Kind of works more like a traditional MMO dye system. And dyes did get consumed when you use them in traditional MMOs, but I feel like what they really should have done is allowed you to keep the shaders. Once you unlocked a shader, you could use the shader to color different, to pick what color you wanted each individual piece to be, and not do the microtransaction thing. So I don't know. I don't know if I support it, but do I think it's really going to be that big of a deal? I don't know yet. I don't think so, but I don't know. But we'll have to see. So that's pretty much my first impressions of Destiny 2. once I finish the game. Surely I'll have more opinions probably next week. Next week, the Raid goes live and the Trials of the Nine goes live. Zur returns for his first time, dishing out those exotics, potentially for more strange coins, because, his Scrooge McDuck-sized vault of strange coins hasn't been filled up yet.
Yeah. Well, he has to be able to dive into it. It's, like at the 3-foot mark. It's like an Olympic-sized pool. Come on, give him a break.
A 3-foot mark after all the characters that have given him strange coins over the years?
Well, he's got a gambling addiction.
Oh, God damn it.
Where do you think he is the rest of the week?
God damn you, sir. So I believe that's all that's left in Destiny 2. I don't know if you watched it, you didn't get to play it, but I don't know if there's anything I might have missed that you would want to bring up.
Not really. I mean, the only thing I would really talk about is that, like with Destiny 1, when I played that, the only character I was really interested in playing in that game was the Hunter. And that's all I really played. This time around, if I get a chance to play the game at all, I'd be willing to play as any of the classes, because they all are very appealing to me this time, which is one of the reasons I'm very interested in the game.
Yeah, the Warlock I find, I hated the Warlock, because the Warlock jump I thought was atrocious. I didn't really like the way the class played or handled. It was my least played class, but I made the decision, since I was getting the game on all 3 consoles, that I would dedicate a character to a console. And since I see myself playing PC the most, I wanted my most played sub-class Hunter to be on that. Then with my girlfriend and her best friend, who I'm going to play on Xbox with, they don't play Titan, so I was like, I'll play Titan there. And I was like, that left me with Warlock here, so I'll try it out. And I am actually pleasantly surprised with how the Warlock plays. I really like the Warlock.
Yeah.
I really like the Dawnblade class. It's a lot of fun. I have a blast playing it.
If I do get a chance to play it, I'm probably going to go with the Warlock, because it just looks like so much fun, especially with everything with the Voidbringer now and your ability to use the Consume and just flat out eat grenades for health.
Yeah,
more or less.
Plus, you can just melee something and regain your health, which will charge your grenade or whatever. Give you a timer that whenever you get a kill in 9 seconds, you'll gain health and everything. So it's like the survivability of a Warlock is very high up there, which is really cool.
I'm really hoping I get a chance to play that.
Yeah, so that's Destiny 2. Apparently something, Legoscope is telling us that something happened today with the Fractured But Whole from South Park today. But did it release today? I don't think it was on my
I think he said that in the beginning of that.
No, I could have sworn. No, he said, speaking of shaders, please do get to South Park Fractured But Whole today if there's any non-awkward response. I really don't know what happened with the Fractured But Whole today. I thought it wasn't releasing until October or November. Not a September release. But, the difficulty slider is also your skin color shit. Oh my god.
Classic South Park humor.
That is honestly hilarious.
Oh god.
Oh my god, what a commentary on our current racial standing right now. I guess easy mode is super ginger white, and the darker shades you go, the heart, because it's just oh my god.
Because it's South Park, and you gotta have that good quality South Park.
That is
humor.
Genius. That is genius from Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Yeah. For that type of comedy, at least.
Yeah. So, touching on that, so with all of that, we've gone to Destiny 2.
Oh my god.
Oh, yep, we guessed it correctly. Cartman declares during that scene, I don't even know if I'm going to say this, it doesn't affect your abilities, just others' responses to you and how much money. Oh my god, how much money you can make. That's horrible.
Yep. Good old South Park.
So I guess we got a couple other things of news, but do we want to get to our weekly dose of a certain type of news first?
I don't know if we really want to do that. I mean, we could just go...
Spit right down my vocal cords. My failed. Go on without me.
You're just not ready for it.
No.
Alright. Overwatch news. Seeing as how they've got something coming out basically weekly with Overwatch. This week, it was the new comic called Junkertown, which features primarily Roadhog and his life in the Australian outback. And it seems, from the way the comic goes, in regards to the lore and everything, that, there was a whole Omnic crisis and the war and everything, that he fought in that war, and that him and everyone else in the Australian outback got a bad deal from the end of it, of how, more or less it seems that they got the short end of the stick, not only during the war, but after the war as well. And it starts off with a couple people trying to steal salvage from his place. And they're like, don't wake up the hog. And then he just comes out. The guy goes to shoot him, and he just hooks him with his hook, brings him up, puts a gun to his face. He's like, please, I'll do anything, don't kill me. And he lets him go and goes into Junkertown to sell scrap and everything. And happens to get enough money to go get himself a beer. So he goes down to the bar, gets himself a beer, and then Junkrat comes in some kind of skerfuffle with guys who are loyal to the... Yeah, I love that. With some people who are have ties with the Queen of Junkertown, and are more or less threatening to kill him. And Junkrat more or less tries to get Roadhog to side with him, being like, "You're not. This guy's gonna stop you." Blah blah blah. And they just kind of look at him, and the one guy goes over. He goes, "Hey, I know the Queen isn't really a big fan of you, but we're not gonna do anything. You just keep your little pig nose out of this, and we won't have any problems." And at that point, Roadhog is like, smash a beer glass, and just takes them all out. And he was talking about some kind of like loot or treasure or whatever that he knows about, and he's trying to convince Roadhog to join him up. And, you know, since you did so good, we'll go with, what do we agree on, 25%? I'll give you 25%, 50%. Okay, 35%, maybe 12, you know, maybe 10%, 50%. All right, I'll go as high as 25. All right, 30. Okay, you got me. I'll go with 50%. Roadhog not really saying anything throughout much of the comic, but it shows that's how they get together, and it seems like it's more of a Junkrat is constantly getting into trouble, and Roadhog is just the tired old guy that's just there to get him out of trouble. But it was very entertaining. Sets up a lot of stuff for the new Junkertown map that they're going to be coming out with. I'm getting kind of excited for it.
Cool deals. Yeah, cool deal. And then in PUBG news, we got ourselves a new gun. What was the name of it again?
I believe it was the Mini 15. I'm going to double check right
Mini
now.
14, I think it was.
Yep, Mini 14.
Yeah, and it looks kind of like a single fire rifle, so probably potentially a sniper rifle. It's got a what's the name? What do they call that? The long extension that goes into the
extended
shoulder.
stock.
Yeah, the extended stock. So it looks like, yeah, basically based on what we're looking at on the picture here, looks to me like it might be a sniper rifle.
Yeah, it might be a sniper rifle. Maybe some kind of automatic rifle, simply because it's got clips that go into it, but that could easily be with a sniper rifle.
Yeah, because normally... There's the photo. So most... I'm gonna say most ARs don't really have that extended stock there. They normally have like a stock that comes standard, or not something that's like that.
Yeah, you get something like that with like the mini Uzi in the game.
Yeah, so it's like, I would imagine, and normally most sniper rifles, like some sniper rifles or the older sniper rifles, would have that pull out like shoulder.
Yeah, but that was mostly because, you know, for transportation and everything, but that would still make sense.
Yeah, so I think it might be a sniper rifle. We really don't know much else. They just said the name of the weapon. And maybe if I actually research the name of the weapon, it would tell us. Maybe I should think about doing that first. What was the name of it again? The what 14?
The Mini 14 is all they said.
Mini 14. So that'll probably answer the question for us if we actually look up what the type of weapon is. Let's see. The Ruger Mini 14 is a lightweight 223 caliber 5.56 semi-automatic rifle. So it's a semi-auto rifle. So it is like an AR. It's just a semi-AR. So we were wrong. It's not a sniper rifle. It's an actual auto rifle. So that'll be interesting. That will join the likes of the SCAR, M4, M16, and AK, along with all that stuff. So, did y'all mention the H1Z1 update? No, we don't really play H1Z1.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something we can talk about next week, because we don't have any information on it now. But that was the update from PUBG. Apparently it's going to launch with the new desert map, which I saw a screenshot of. Looks pretty cool. Yeah. Why don't you take us into the final bit of news that I told you about right before we went on the podcast, about a certain game that's coming back that I really like. That's set in the 1940s.
Oh yeah, they're doing a remaster of LA Noir.
Wow, I can't do that at all.
It sounded like you were doing a very bad Sanford and Son.
Right?
But yeah, I never got to play it, but it always looked very interesting. And the only thing we really know is that it's a remastered version of the game. It's coming to PS4, Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch, and it's coming to VR for the Vive.
Very cool. LA Noire, which I learned was apparently now 6 years old, which it doesn't feel that old. It doesn't feel that like it came out that long ago. Like, I feel like I was playing it yesterday, but I loved that game. I didn't really like the ending, but I mean it was a true noir ending because noir means black in French, and the whole noir style is they were supposed to be dark and not always have the happiest of endings, and it was and whatnot, and like
sometimes Mufasa has to die.
Yeah, but like for those who don't know about the noir genre, it was just more dark films, more about like crime and like the ugly side of humanity in life, and a lot of times it dealt with police and police stations and dealing with crimes and the police procedural, and that's where that whole genre came from. So movies like what's the name of? Oh man, I'm blanking on the big one that was based in New York.
New York Noir.
No. Now I was on the right track, and you just threw me completely off. But stuff like the Maltese Falcon, the Big Sleep, what's it? Hollywood Boulevard, I think it is, or I don't think it's Hollywood Boulevard. It's one of the other it's named after one of the other. That's where like the "I'm ready for my close up, Mr. DeMille" line came famously from. Double Indemnity, stuff like that, all came from there, and that's also where L.A. Confidential is a great noir film from the 90s. Probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite noir film of all time. But Chinatown also with Jack Nicholson, that was a noir film. So like, and also if you are a fan of Law and Order in any way, shape, or form, those are kind of like the police procedural. Those are noir style TV shows, and they came out of the noir boom of the 1940s,
and they don't always have a happy ending.
No, exactly. And so, I don't know what my point was. I think it was just the fact that like that's where LA. I really enjoyed the genre. That's where LA noir came from, and I think it would be cool if we got like a New York noir or a Chicago noir, maybe like Detroit. Well, if we want to stay in the 40s and 50s, I think like, and if we want to deal with like
Boston,
where there was a lot of crime, like in the 40s, like maybe Boston, but I feel like Chicago, New York, and LA are like the three best places for like a noir style thing. Because like in the 40s, you could maybe, if you did like a Chicago themed one in the 40s, you could maybe do one about like maybe like a power vacuum after the collapse of Al Capone, post prohibition and stuff like that. That could be really cool. So I actually didn't play Sabotage, which looked really good, and I am sad that I never played it. One of my probably big video game regrets. But I am very excited. I loved LA Noire. I almost, I think, platinumed the game. I did almost anything and everything I could there, and I'm looking forward to potentially buying and playing it with the upgraded visuals now. And I am hoping, there's a rumor coming out of the fact that they are remastering it, that this might be because they want to refresh players' memory of the franchise. That way they can make a second noir game. So that way a Chicago noir, a New York noir, a Boston noir, like we were talking about, could happen.
I'd be interested in that.
I would be all aboard for it. I've been dying for a sequel to LA Noire or another noir game in the noir franchise to come along, and I was worried that when Team Bondi, who made LA Noire, went under, that it wouldn't see the light of day, but the game seemed to perform well, and Rockstar, like they ended up. Then it came out that Rockstar, when they decided to publish the game, they bought the rights to the franchise, so it means that it can still happen. Heavy Rain I did play. Heavy Rain is amazing, and no, will not be called Trump's Noir. I do not want to play a game that simulates what we're living in right now. LA Noir, great game. If you haven't played it, like Laserscope said, it's on Steam for $2.50 right now, or you can wait for it to get remastered and check it out in all of its new graphical glory. I highly recommend it. If you're into like a police procedurals, you like any kind of noir films, or if you like maybe say SVU stuff like that, you'll probably enjoy this game. Or even if you like 1940s like American culture and style and fashion and stuff like that and music, you'll get an amazingly great dose of that as well. And with that, I believe that's going to wrap it up for episode 21 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. $20 LA Noir on Steam, by the way. Thank you, Laserscope. We're done for this episode. That is a wrap. Do not forget that you can catch us live on Twitch every Friday for the most part. Sometimes we might go live on a Saturday. Times vary because, I work, DMurph works, so we try to get on when we can. But if you do catch us while we go live, I tweet it out. DMurph tweets it out. I post about it on my Discord server, which you can join. You can engage in the chat, talk to us, ask us questions as we're live streaming, and we will engage with you. Was there something you read?
Yeah, I was going to say another reason that it sometimes changes is because, much like Heath Slater, I got kids.
Yeah, you got kids. Not as many. You're not living in a double wide.
I'm not living in a double wide. I'm living in a house, but I don't have an above-ground pool.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to get an above-ground. I do live in a community. There is an in-ground pool, but I have to drive to it. It's the whole thing. But I got kids!
And like I said, with the Twitter, I am at L_Murpho. He is DMurph_42.
Mm-hmm.
And we both, we tweet out random musings and things. We will tweet out whenever an episode goes live on Twitter.
Yeah.
On Twitch. I will normally send out a tweet as well when we go live when the VOD goes on YouTube. Which is at youtube.com/LMurphoReal. The Twitch channel is twitch.tv/L_Murpho. You can also get the VOD version on that as well, but you can also get it on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment over there. We are also in audio form on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and various other places. And if you rate, review, and subscribe, you will help us gain more visibility, because with the podcasts, they really only give people more visibility to other people, not just based on like how many people watch or listen or download the episodes, but how many like 5 or 4 star reviews a podcast receives. So you can check us out at those 3 places. We are at Super Grapple Bros over there. Don't you touch my belt. That is my belt. I want it fair and square and still longest reigning. Yep. My baby.
Right now.
That's my predictions championship. I figured since it's a nice centerpiece of the background, I'd leave it there, and we'd only bring it out when we do predictions and when we do our
One thing I will point out to you, I actually checked. We have a couple of reviews on iTunes.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. All 5 stars. Yep. So thank you to everybody who gives us those reviews. And of course, thank you to all the people who come into the chat to either just sit and hang
out, be part of the conversation.
Whether you're loitering or lurking or engaging the chat, we appreciate
all
you.
Are welcome.
Same for our viewers and our listeners. Also, one last final thing. If you have any questions, topics of discussion on either video games or wrestling, anything related to this podcast, be sure to shoot us an email at supergrapplebros@gmail.com.
Maybe we could start a couple new segments. Like maybe we could do, I have an idea of something we could do next week. If you guys want us to do this, let us know on Twitter and our email, whatever. If you want, I can do a little bit of a wrestling trivia game with this guy over here. I've gotten an idea of perfect set of questions to ask this guy.
That could be a thing we do as well. Like if you guys have maybe trivia questions, like maybe that's a weekly thing we do where we can pick 1 or 2 or 3 trivia questions from listeners and viewers asking us questions, and maybe we have to quiz each other. One of us will ask the questions to the other one week, and then we swap it the next week and stuff like that. So yeah, supergrapplebros@gmail.com. Do not forget that. And that is everything, I believe, for us. I don't believe we have any other kinds of things we gotta call out or whatever, right?
I think we're all good.
So that will do it. That's a wrap. We're done. Everybody, thank you again one final time for DMurph. I am El Murpho. Thank you all for watching or listening, however you consume our podcast. Till we see you again, take care.
Peace.
Deuces. Deuces, the deucey deuce. The deucey deuce deuce. Not a poo, but deuces and goodbye. So
Be
long.
sweet.
See you later. Take care. Bye, guys.
Shut up and sit down.